Good evening, everybody, and welcome again to another episode of What Do You Hunt? And tonight we have a very, very special episode. I am very proud to announce this is our first couples edition. So this is going to be really interesting and really fun. And I'm so grateful for everybody who's able to make it tonight for the show. And again, for our excellent guests from last week, D-Ron Comics, Los, and JP's Comic Budget Collecting. So tonight, though, we do have, like I said, we have some couples. So this should be pretty interesting. First up, from Married with Issues, artist extraordinaire and queen of the hashtag, Soldier and Fuchsia.
Hello.
And I say that with all the kindness, but you are rocking the hashtags in your Instagram posts.
Oh yeah, she does.
Can't help it. It's part of my OCD, and it's just like, I like to turn them into sentences and just like
You do.
it's fun. It's kind of challenging, but I like it.
It is fun. No, I love it. It's great. But I gotta throw it in there because it's awesome.
Yeah.
One of a kind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Our next guest, she is the queen of cosplay, and he's from Australia. We've got Delphia and Kachoong. How are you today?
Hey. G'day. How you doing?
Great. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great. Just enjoying Saturday. We did some adulting earlier. I got lost in our closet, trying to prepare as much as I could for the show, just for my level of comic collecting. I wanted to come with, I couldn't come with comic knowledge, so I thought I would come with Rachel knowledge. So that's what I got for you guys tonight.
I'm just glad you guys made it in the first place. So that's really the important part. And thank you for taking the time out of your evenings on Saturday nights, which I know is, it's the highlight of the week, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. So let's bring in our final guests. Coming up on their 4th year anniversary on YouTube, and they are getting ready to make a new anniversary together. We've got the ComicHaulics. How you guys doing?
Sorry, we're muted. Good. Yeah, we're good.
Awesome. All right. So everybody ready to talk about comics?
Oh,
Always.
Always.
That's right.
Right.
Only
There's
always, right?
comics on the mind.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Well, we don't have a lot of people in the chat yet, so we do have JP. JP's here.
JP's always here.
JP's always here, yeah. He's not like, Perry, kind of creepy lurking, but he's always here. And that's what's important. All right. So I came up with a whole slew of new questions specifically for tonight because,
Wow.
there's conversations you can have with individuals and there's conversations you have with couples, right? And they're not always the same. So I think the same is true in this scenario tonight. So without further ado, let's kind of jump into it. So first question I really have for you guys is, which one of you got the other into comics, or were you both already into it when you got together? And let's start with Soldier and Fuchsia.
So, I was into comics like when I was a kid. The Christopher Reeve Superman movie and the '89 Batman movie, like a lot of people from my age and generation, got me into it when I was little, and then around kind of senior year, end of high school kind of thing, kind of fell out of it. And then by the time when I met her, she had been into him before meeting me. So I guess for us, we were into it before, but we were both like lapsed collectors and then got back into it together.
Yeah, my mama definitely raised a nerd and grew up with like Xena and Hercules and Superman and all Star Trek.
Right on.
Both hands. But,
Wow, that's talent.
Yeah, we were both into comics before we met, and then it was one of the times I went up to my sisters to hang out, and my brother-in-law it was my niece had Umbrella Academy trade on the couch, and so he was reading it, and then we ended up he's like, let's go to the comic book store. I'm like, yeah, sure, and just the place. And we went to Dr. Volt's, and we walked out with just one quarter book because we weren't
That's all we
actually
had,
planning
yeah, we
on
were just-
buying any like more, and then it just turned into a thing from there that we've been there almost every other week since.
It's been, what did we figure, like, is it 3 years?
Going on 3
Yeah,
years.
3 since we started.
Wow.
Well, got back into it.
That's cool. That is very cool. That's a really cool story too. How about you, Delphia and Kachoong?
Well, I had kind of two phases. One growing up when I was a teenager into college, and then I had a big break, and then again in around 2006. And then since then, I kind of stopped and met Delphia, and we went to Australia in 2018. And
I want to pause there. He didn't stop because of me. He stopped
right.
before he met me because I had no idea he was into comics.
This is a safe space, no blame whatsoever.
Yeah. Until we went to Australia, was it like
In 2018.
that was literally the first time I had ever heard him talk about comics, period. So, and honestly, he had a bunch of comics that were from his childhood that he wanted to bring back to the States.
Yeah.
And so we packed
5 short boxes.
Right, it was crazy. We basically used all of our luggage to get home. Like I left some things in Australia so we could bring the comics home for him. Like was giving stuff away to his family members. Like
Were you married at the time or dating?
we were married.
We were married.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I was gonna say, because if not,
Yeah,
like she was a keeper anyway. If she was donating clothes to family members so you could bring comics back, don't ever leave her.
Right.
Oh, she's a keeper. I knew she was a keeper anyway.
There you go.
So that is how comics made their way back into into my home ever and back into his home. And honestly, I had no idea for months what Kachoong was doing. He was just in our office like for hours, and I was like, "Where did he go? Like, what happened?" And then and all these packages started coming to the house, like all these envelopes. I mean,
Late night drinking and eBay.
I had no idea what he was into or what was going on. Like, and honestly, I didn't really notice at first. And then I was like, okay, I was like, he's really into this. And I bought my first comic books. The first books I ever bought, I was on a business trip to DC, and we had already been talking about his comics, and a lot of these characters, I was talking with him about, and I don't want to like jump into the second part of the show, but I grew up watching them on cartoons, and and that's how I got to know them, from movies and cartoons. So a lot of them I have deep connections with for different reasons. But ultimately, I didn't have any books. So my first books were on that trip to DC, and I was like, I have nothing better to do. I'm stuck in a hotel for 2 days. So I was like, let me find a comic book store. That was like the beginning of me collecting, and the reason why now I have short 8 boxes.
Wow. Good for you.
8 boxes. Yeah, 8 short boxes. Yeah. So I mean, that's the story of why I have it. It really started from there, me doing something for him. And so, we enjoy spending time together, and we cosplay together. We watch TV together.
The cosplay kind of evolved before that.
So
her finding out about these characters' origins in the comics was kind of neat too.
it was something else to do together, something else that we both have ties and we like, and we'll see where it goes. But we definitely have to like keep each other in check about different things in our life. Just
you definitely do.
Comics, dining, well, not dining out right now, but dining out before COVID.
Right. The lost art of dining out.
I know, right?
It's so sad. Yeah, definitely.
All right. What about you, Wayne and Jess?
I don't know. So my brother and my dad got me into comics.
That's right. You're always like posting, like you're like sending your dad's collection out to CGC and stuff. That's right. So.
Yep. So I had always loved superheroes my whole life. And I probably didn't start collecting until like college. And then I met Jess, and you had some books beforehand.
Yeah, I used to watch shows when I was younger, and then I'd say late high school-ish is when I started to get into it, and I started buying a few books here and there. And then I started doing cosplay and going to conventions. Like, fell in love with it, like hardcore.
The cosplay or the comics themselves?
Both.
Okay.
Like, I would find myself like, I'd be like dressed as like the classic Harley Quinn, like sitting looking through books and like all the long boxes at the booth. And then I remember, like, when we met, I think it was our second date. The first thing we did was he showed me his collection. Yeah.
Brave man. That early?
Yeah.
Unbox. He goes, "You want to see my comic?"
They're great.
I don't think my wife saw my collection at least until, oh my God. Yeah, she's over there shaking her head. She's like months.
No,
Yeah, she's
no. 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think it was on the second
I
date.
had to solidify the relationship first, you know.
Well,
She didn't, of course, she met my friends after that. So,
Oh, okay.
well, we met because, we met on Tinder, and my profile picture was me cosplaying Gwen Stacy.
I mean, why the hell would I not swipe for that?
yeah, okay. So
Right.
this was like an action point. I'm like, I show her my comic collection. She's going to love it.
You want to see my 9.8?
Oh my God, that can go so wrong.
Yeah, I could.
Like, imagine if I was like, I gotta go. Like,
It's either going to be awesome or whatever. But
but I still remember that first book he showed me, and it was just downhill from there. Our addiction to comics just spiraled together.
yeah.
Right on. So, I think it was Kachoong had mentioned like the different cycles or waves that you kind of go through, you know, in collecting. I personally started off collecting. I think I was like 10 or 11, because I had G.I. Joe cartoons, right? And like my segue into comics was I saw a G.I. Joe comic on the newsstand, and I was like, whoa, like that's awesome. And then from there, I like went into X-Men and all sorts of other stuff. But it was like, you know, Usagi Yojimbo, Boris the Bear. I mean, I was small, but I put all that away. Like I sold everything off, you know, for like you know, what was it, like a dime per book, you know, after paying, you know, a lot of money. Yeah, like they wouldn't pay you more than, you know, a peasant's fee for
Yeah, I did that with my original collection too.
Yeah, and then I got into guitars and girls, and then I moved to Las Vegas, got back into comics again, and then stopped collecting comics when I had kids, and then got back into comics again. So yeah, it's like it goes, depends on you know, the times in your life and what's going on. But yeah, I definitely appreciate that. You know, there was a question that I actually had come out of that conversation that I forgot, but we'll get back to that. Do you guys have separate collections, or do you collect together?
Ours is all together.
Yeah, yeah, ours is all together.
Lose my voice.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
That's just like all
Oh, ours is-
Yeah. It's like we do have like his and hers, but at the same time, it's like I got something in my throat. Can't even talk. No, so we do have like his and hers, but overall, it's also just like what's yours is mine. What's mine is yours. When it comes to our collection, and it's just.
Yeah, my wife doesn't collect, but it's the same way with us. Yeah.
Yeah.
When
I
we
usually.
very first started, we did initially have our first like short boxes separate, but it didn't
It
last
drove
that
my
long at
OCD
all.
wild. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I can't.
Yeah.
It's like no. It just.
Yeah, it was too hard to do.
Yep.
Actually, I take that back. No, my wife does actually have her own box of comics.
Oh God, that is so pathetic.
Yeah.
Speaking of this.
So it was like it started off. I got her hooked in because I got her hooked on CSI because she loved the show CSI when it came out, right? So I was like, hey, there's CSI comics. I'm like, I'll bring them home. You know?
just kind of strategically leave them
Yeah,
on the
just kind of
corner.
like, oh, it just happened to be around. Look what I found.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I think when you and I first started dating, I think I went to Newberry Comics and I bought a pack, like a comic booklet package thing,
Oh yeah, like a mystery type of
a
thing.
mystery thing,
Yeah.
and I was like,
Mystery pack.
I was like, I got you something, and like that was my way of trying to flirt with them, and it worked.
It's all, yeah, of course it's gonna work.
Even if it's 90s Liefeld stuff, it's going to work, right?
I think when it comes down to it, our collection is our collection, but we have definitely very separate collections, different short box collections, and I think we have a lot of very different interests and characters. So there's not much overlap really. We had overlap in the X-Men, but she likes X-Men probably more than I do. There's only a few X-Men books that I would really consider grails. One of them I just recently got from NYC, but so all of my X-Men ended up in her collection. So.
Well, I totally disagree with everything that Kachoong just said. Because honestly,
of course you can.
I mean, we definitely have two separate collections. Mine is in my 8 short boxes. And I just talked about how I want to really clean my collection. Like, honestly, I pulled out the characters and I asked myself, like, why do I have this book? And I think that's important to me, even where I am in collecting, because I don't want to just have stuff. Though I do have books that were characters that I know Kachoong loves a lot more than me. And I picked them up in my hunts because we had done a lot of hunting, especially, for a solid year and a half. That was like pretty much what we did together was just hunt, whether it was at a restaurant, a comic book shop, online.
There is a restaurant here called My Parents' Basement.
Oh, right. I meant
where they have comic books as well. So you can go have a burger and then, look for books and then have a burger. Yes.
Yeah, we have a coffee shop that's like that's one. Mm-hmm. What is it called? It's from the
Watchtower.
Yeah, the Watchtower. Yeah, the Justice League.
We don't have anything cool like that.
But some of the books that he loves more, I recently gave him all of my Spider-Man book just because, I love Spider-Man and I have a connection to him too, but not like Kachoong does. He's basically Spider-Man all grown up.
Yeah, that's like us too. Like we have some overlap, but it's really small. Because you like some superhero stuff where I love it, and
I know that the indie part of our collection is like 98% me.
Yeah, the only indie I really get is Spawn and Lady Mechanica.
Yeah, but yeah, I have most of the indie and then a little bit of DC. But there's some characters where we both love, and then there's other characters that he loves Doom more than I. I'm not that big of a Doom guy or person, but
and my horror too.
Horror,
I've been really working on lately.
I've never really been a big fan of horror stuff. Sometimes it's but yeah. So it's we still. I lost my train of thought.
I have kind of been reading a little bit more indie stuff though. Mm-hmm. That's the thing though. A lot of the ones that you're reading, we do both read what each other's reading though. Kind of at the same time
we
too.
Do, we do.
If we think the other will like it.
Yeah, we do recommend books to each other. There's one that he got me into more Daredevil and Thor.
Mm-hmm.
But for Catwoman, he if that one's still mine, but he'll find other covers and things while we're out hunting, and then he'll show me. So it's while we're hunting, we
always kind of split off.
Yeah, we kind of separate where he covers one end of the story, cover the other, and then by the time we meet back up, it's oh, I found this for you too. By the way, when I found this, and it's
yeah.
But for the majority, we do read a lot of it together.
Yeah, that's true.
Wayne and Jess, so any overlap in what you guys do, or is there specific flavors that you guys kind of veer towards?
I think at first we had 2 little separate collections, and then it merged over time. It's all together.
But character-wise, though, Spider-Man, X-Men kind of thing, or indies, or
not too much indie. I would say majority Marvel. We definitely have a fair amount of DC, but probably more Marvel.
Which is funny because when I first met him, I was really big into Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was kind of I like Marvel, not that much. And then the more I started to learn about it, and get into it, I just fell in love with Marvel. So now I feel like 90% collection is definitely.
Yep. A lot of Spider-Man and X-Men.
Yeah, those are the two big favorites. I wasn't really that into Spider-Man when I was growing up. It was, for me, it was just all X-Men, but then I got into Spider-Man like later on. Like I had a friend that was like all about Spider-Man and was like, kind of eased me over to it. I was like, all right, yeah, I get that.
I think from age like 3 through 12, I was Spider-Man for Halloween.
He would wear a Spider-Man costume every day when he was a kid. I see pictures all the time.
But the question is, do you still have it? Or does your mom still have it?
Might be a little tight, but yeah.
I have a funny
Lord,
story.
man, you can get a new one,
I have a funny story about Spider-Man. He loves Spider-Man so much, he ordered a cosplay that was too small, and he still put it on and took a picture as a selfie in the mirror in the bathroom downstairs.
That's
Well, we have to see this.
yeah, we have to stop it now.
So would you like to screen share that for the
I would if I could pull it up in time, certainly. He also dressed like Spider-Man like randomly on Christmas like 2 years ago. And I gave him a lightsaber as one of his gifts, and he I think he posted some of these, right? Did you?
I think I have an Instagram post. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Darth Spiderus
He's
or
like
something.
playing in our living room
Spider.
after the presents are put away, and they're with the what is it? The lightsaber, the Star Wars lightsaber, the Spider-Man onesie on for no reason. No one's at our house. Just that's what Dave's just doing, is
We don't
hanging out.
have kids.
I took pictures. I was like, I'll get some good pictures, babe. So
We did finally find the pictures of him dressed up as TMNT.
When I was little, yeah.
That his mom made it. And also, when him and his best friend were Batman and Superman.
Yeah, my grandma was a seamstress, so growing up, I was everything on Halloween. Superman,
Homemade
Spider-Man.
costumes with her. Yeah.
That is cool.
And my mom's always been a Spidey fan. What I really hope to do is go through my grandparents' basement, because my mom, like back when she was born in '64, so like late '70s, she was collecting Spider-Man off the shelf back then.
Oh, that's awesome.
And left her collection at my grandparents, and I just have to sort through the basement. But it's kind of like
It's an excursion. It would be.
Yeah. It's gonna take some time, but hopefully I'll get there. Get around
Pack
to
the
it.
Sandwiches. Go now. What's holding you back?
Yeah,
Live stream it.
The kind of thing is, though, is like
There's a lot.
there's like a 90% chance that they're gonna be not in the best shape, like because that basement is like flooded in the past and stuff.
Mm.
So
It's probably gonna be
still
more
kinda-
heartbreaking than anything, but
It depends on which corner of the basement it was in, but
Oh,
it's
man.
had like over 20 years of my sister moving in, moving out, and like just abandoned boxes and hoarding, and it's like everything. Like a room size full of your junk drawer, where it's just you ended up
pretty
accumulating all
big
this
room.
stuff that you don't even know the what's for. So
Oh, I'm sure.
it's gonna take a lot of work. but
it would
I'll get
take
around
like
sometime.
a couple weeks probably. It would
Oh,
be.
yeah.
It'd be.
No,
yeah,
it would
quite
take
the
a good
endeavor.
couple months, but I'm gonna do it eventually. Because it's fine.
Yeah, because I mean, just mostly just out of curiosity, see what's there. Because I mean, if she was collecting if she started early enough, I mean, ASM 129 was 74.
It's possible because it's
Yeah.
what
Like
the
that.
most.
What was that, Kachoong?
First Black Cat, 194.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, 194.
that's me in our list right there.
Yep, that is one on my
I
list.
love that cover.
Yep.
It's such a good cover.
I love that one.
Very cool. All right, so all right, so I'm going to kind of pit this between the three of you. All right, who has the largest collection?
We have
we have
4,127. We have like 4,100.
yeah, we have our full collection like
24
cataloged
Cataloged
on an
in-
app,
Yeah, we get
Yeah.
App Weeks is what I use, and I have it all there.
and we were just over 4,200.
Yes.
4,200. All
So
right.
that's counting like our omnis, our absolutes. So that's like trades and
Okay.
yeah, single issues.
Fair enough. Wayne and Jess?
Well, that puts us to
yeah.
shame.
Oh, I have no idea, but it's not that high. 'Cause
No.
we got rid of a lot at one point.
Yeah, we did too. Like a couple years ago.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we're nowhere near that.
No.
Nowhere near
Like,
that. Like nowhere.
We got a shelf specifically made to hold 24 short boxes, and that's where we're keeping our collection. So any that come in from now on, I have to get rid of some to bring the new ones in.
That's
That's with us. So with our drawer boxes, when we expand now, we're gonna have to next row up.
I like how he said we until he got to the end about getting rid of comics, and then he was like, I.
that's so true. I tell him all the time, especially with baseball cards. I'm like, listen, just bought a house. About to get married. If you buy something, or if we go and buy something, you have to get rid of something. Like,
I have to,
Right. Like, I don't know what you
times
said. Let's just switch it out.
I think that's fair ask, you know?
Well, there's so many times before I have to tell them, like, literally, think of where you're gonna put it before you buy it because we have no more room.
Thank you. Oh, you hear that?
Everywhere. It's just, yeah.
Listen to the ladies.
Well, I mean, for a while there, our half of the floor in our office was covered in short boxes, which is a big part of the reason why we did the mystery boxes, just because this room is like, we use it as an office also. Like, it's not just a comic book room. You know, we don't have the space for just a comic book room right now.
Cosplays, some in here.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was, we had to kind of take a step back and give the comics a space. Like, I think give it a space, and I think it also makes us more responsible in how we collect.
That's true. Yeah, that's the point we've gotten to too, with all of them being full. Right.
Yeah.
Right on. So we bought a new house several years ago, and there's this room in the basement that's like where the utility closet is. They were using it as storage, and it was like this long room. It's like 20 feet long, and it's not like, you know, it's like 9 feet wide or something like that. I'm like, perfect.
That's perfect.
That's the comic room, right? Because I have these file cabinets. My wife told me, she's like, I don't ever want to see another white box in my house. Find something else. She's like, she mentioned she brought up file cabinets, right? Not the little, you know, skinny ones, but the big wide ones like you see in office buildings, right? And they're perfect because they're 4-drawer file cabinets, and they fit 4 rows in each drawer, and it's like a short box in each row. Awesome, right? And I actually wound up getting a great deal on them. So it's like I have this long row of these like steel file cabinets that have the collection. But then I've got racks of, like, you know, the extra, you know, like 80s, 90s direct that it's like, you know, just want to finish it, read it, and then, you know, move it along. But it's like I have to move all this stuff out to a storage unit next month so I can clear space in there to actually do the room up, like put the wall up in front of the utility room and everything, and make it look all nice and pro and everything, and have a really nice room dedicated to it. Wow. I'm just like, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm not looking forward to it because it's like, oh, it's going to be a lot of work.
Yeah.
We're in the process of doing that right now.
Yeah, we're finishing our basement, and we're basically turning it into a giant arcade, which is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
But I do want to put at least like display cases with the comics and our staff. That's cool.
Yeah.
And I really always loved a filing cabinet too, because before we got the drawer boxes, I was debating getting the filing cabinets because I like how the metal ones, how they just slide so much easier, and they have all the different filings for them, and it's just so much easier. But
when I'm done, I'm going to do a video on it and everything. You guys will see like what I got, because I think personally, I think they're perfect for it. Like, and I've seen people get the smaller ones, you know, that are just like the single drawer ones, and it doesn't really work out the right way.
Yeah, I think Kachoong's might be kind of like the ones like you're talking about, because his.
Oh, did you get those classy collector drawers or?
No. Oh, those. Yeah, those classy collector ones are dope. I was looking into getting those. Like, I think it was like a year or two ago. There's that guy on Instagram that makes I think Downright has some. One.
Yeah. Mike has some. I've seen.
But the other one is Barbarian, when he does his Webhead Wednesday posts, and he does like his ASM books from his filing cabinet. one
That's
too.
did I say barbarian or?
You said Kachoong.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, I was
Sorry.
like, wait, what are you
Yeah,
talking
I meant-
about?
Yeah, I must be
Kung Fu, not Kachoong.
thinking Kung Fu. Yeah,
Close.
Confused me for a second. I was like, oh wait.
I'm tired. I didn't sleep much last night.
Yeah, we're replacing all our white boxes with those like character boxes or whatever you call them.
Yeah.
Expensive ones.
Yeah, we just call them like
Yeah.
designer boxes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Designer boxes.
Well,
It'll look
what we did with ours is so for like the Deadpool box, we put Deadpool Volume 1. Like since I'm working on that whole run, in the Batman box, we put all of Batman Volume 1 that we have. Like so, we just did kind of like
We had all these empty
By
designer
character.
boxes, but because these were getting too full, we're like, oh, well, why don't we just put a big chunk of Batman in the Batman box? And so it's like we got the Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, and Deadpool all stacked up, and they all have that character's books in them from
Right
like the beginning up into
of
Yeah.
one run. I think most of them are our first series. I think the only one that wasn't first series was Superman.
that was
Because
the
I
only one.
think it was the Jurgens run before Bendis came and took over.
But we had to make room for our collection to keep growing. It actually
Yeah, because
freed up a lot of space.
when we got the drawer boxes, that's what our thing was. Is we wanted to future proof, so we needed to save space, but we also needed to like future proof it to where as our collection grows. So that's why with these, we can just go up because our second LCS, the owner there, he's the one that was recommended these. And what did he say he has? Did he say 6 high or was it 5?
5.
5.
It was 5, yeah.
5 high, and he said probably not really going over that, but
Yeah,
know
those
that
comic houses,
the-
I've seen those at one store, and it's like they start kind of folding in among themselves. They're not designed to, hold that much weight, stacked up like that, because you've got the weight of the books that's in them, right? And then you've got the weight of the next one.
the housing too.
Exactly. Yep, that's why
One thing I always
recommend.
recommend though with those is it's the same thing we were told is if you do get them, make sure you get the drawer box brand ones because I've heard that the BCW ones like them I guess aren't really that great.
Yeah, the comic house.
Yeah, I guess their housings aren't that good.
Yeah, well, it's all cardboard construction, so yeah, you got to get something that's got a
Yeah.
little bit more framing into it.
Yeah, these ones are like their housings on this are like triple. They're pretty solid.
Very
That's
cool.
good, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I'm pleased with them. I mean, they've been really good.
yeah, they have been. But I mean,
And
those are
you
some
can
for the
get
piling
them. You
down
can
the
get
road.
them in a short or long box too.
Very nice.
True story.
So,
But
Let me
it's really pricey though. That's kind of the downfall on it.
let me move us to another question. Do you guys ever have the same hunting goals? Right, like I mean, you guys have books that you like, certain different titles or characters or whatnot. Are you guys like together on like, hey, we want to finish out this run of this, or is that one thing, or do you guys ever feel like, oh, like, I want to get this book or like this key, that's my goal, and he has something else? Wayne, Jess, let you run that one first.
I feel like we have the same one.
Yeah, we definitely have the same goals. Right now we're like focusing on like Silver Age, Marvel keys, but
We usually like split up in the shop, and like we have the same book in mind. So it'll be like, all right, I'll go through A through D,
Yeah.
and you go through like,
yeah,
the other.
but we definitely have the same for sure.
Right on. Delphia, Kachoong?
I don't think we have any aligned goals with comics.
I mean, probably, obviously, I'd love to have the first appearance of Wonder Woman, but if I had it, I would give it to her,
Probably. And I think the same goes for me. I think when you asked this question, I felt like I answered this a little bit for us. And the last question where, when we find something in our collection, even if it has value, like we usually gift it to the other person that it makes more sense. So essentially, we probably do have one greater collection, but we have different collections within that are our segments of that collection, if that
Right.
makes any type of sense at all.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, because ours can even be like that. Yeah.
Ours is the same. I know that we're always looking out for each other's books too when we're hunting, because it's like we always have the other one in mind, but we do also have the same goals most of the time. So it's like, oh yeah, we were working on this run, and then like we circle back around to some of them because we have so many that we're collecting. But yeah, we have about the same goals, and we always look out for the other ones. Like, there's been so many times it's like, oh hey, I found this one, and it's like he found one for me too. So
Yeah, for
it's
us,
kind
I
of like
guess
the gifting
it's kind of just like, yeah, how it is in a nutshell for us. Really, is like we do have some crossover that we're both like really going after, but then we also have a lot that the other one probably.
Yeah, we keep the other one in mind though too when we're hunting. So.
Yeah. Well, and I knew that Delphia loved Betty Page, and she didn't know what her first appearance was, so I found it for her, and actually found
awesome.
first.
What was it?
And sorry,
What was it?
well, it's right here.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
Oh, is it the Dave Stevens?
Be careful with the mic.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that Star Slayer, yeah.
She's
a
the
line
Rocketeer's
Rocketeer.
girlfriend. Yeah,
First
that makes sense.
The Rocketeer and Betty Page.
Well, he calls her Betty, but he never, they never like identify her last name as Page.
See,
and
I
then
guess we
so there's a few that go through like Pacific Presents.
Yeah.
The third appearance.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, I just got that.
And then her first cover appearance on
Yeah, the special edition.
the special edition. And then there's that one, which is her
Yeah. Yeah, the Betty Page comics.
first solo. And this was the one that she kind of signed off on. And I guess at the time, she realized that, she'd been put in comics by Dave Stevens. And she was like, well, this is pretty cool. And so she approved this comic being made. And I'm pretty sure it's a one-shot, right?
It is, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was the first, self-titled Betty Page. So she didn't know they existed. And so I figured that she would love them.
That's awesome. That's very awesome.
Yeah, that's like one thing that we do with our collection too, is we somehow we're able to find stuff where like one book or one thing will be for like both of us, in a weird way. Like that Rocketeer one, the second one that he showed, we found that recently. And then like, cause I love Rocketeer growing up, like the movies and everything.
I still
and
honestly,
then the Betty Page, and then there was that Monstrous #1 Spawn homage.
Yeah.
So Spawn and Monstrous, like our favorite indies, and
that was one of them. But one of my favorite ones that I gifted him was the ASM 129, where I was more excited to tell him "I told you so" than I was of the actual book.
Yeah.
Because we had it for a while and then sold it, and then we wanted to get it back, and he kept saying we're never going to get it again. It keeps rising in price. It's going up. It's going up. And I'm like, I told you so. Like, I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah.
We can do this.
Aww.
Yeah, I just thought I figured it's just one of those books that you kind of only own once.
Yeah.
At least us, at least me.
At least we thought. But I had to say I told you so, and Matt helped. So thank goodness for Matt.
Right.
Yeah.
The boy who had 7 is a miracle sometimes, yeah. That's great.
Who's that laughing?
I'm sorry, that's my wife in the background.
Oh,
Don't apologize.
awesome.
Don't
She thinks that's so great. I was like, who is laughing like that?
I think it's great. I told you so. Sorry.
Don't
No,
apologize.
it's fine. We have a pug in the background, so we all have background noise.
Are you kidding me? I'm surprised I can't hear the 3 kids upstairs, like, banging chairs around while they're doing chores and such. Oh, yeah, because you told them to be quiet. So, on that note, there's a funny story, and she's going to sit right next to me so she can punch me.
Hi. Sorry. I'm the person that's laughing. So sorry.
Nobody's gonna care that you're laughing over there. So she says to me one day, she says, I want to get a book. She's like, but I don't know what to get. Like, I want to go through the process. I want to hunt for the book, and I want to find the book, and like go through and like have it slabbed and everything. And I was like, well, how about early Wonder Woman?
Wait, my story. Sorry, my story. So I was thinking, and this is my story. I love you.
Yep.
So what I was saying to him, I'm like, I love the process. I love that he goes hunting. Like I've said before, I'm not a collector, but I'm all about it. I respect it. I think it's amazing. I like the art more. So anytime I see like a really cool cover or something like that, I'm like, oh, and he's like, yeah, I got that book. I'm like, yeah, but it's so cool. So I'm that person. And I don't know why it popped in my head. I was probably having one of those nights where you're so tired. And I was thinking of Wonder Woman and when like a love story of Wonder Woman. And then he's like, oh yeah. And I'm like, where she meets Steve. And I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if we could find like a book? So when I said this, and I should have known better when I said this to a person that collects comics.
Always.
Yeah, it was like, boom, right? So
the next morning, I'm up before I got the coffee made. I'm on eBay,
he's
looking to find, and it's Wonder Woman 98.
So
right?
he shows it to me, and I'm like, great. And I'm like, but I didn't hear anything else. And then, so for the gentleman out there, he got in trouble.
I was wrong.
Because I was like, I wanted to be a part of it. Like, I wanted to buy it. I wanted to, it's so nerdy. It's so dumb. I wanted to send it out to
Never say
CC.
nerdy and dumb.
But that was just like you guys have had this experience. And I'm like, I want to do that. Well, Jim went off and just decided to
Instagram
do the whole thing by himself.
Instagram. I'm on Instagram one day, and Torpedo Comics, like they had this on the picture. I'm like, oh, right. So I hit them up. I'm like, like how much? And they're like this, and I'm like, done. Right, done. Take my money. I get the book. I'm like, 20-year anniversary. I'm like, happy anniversary, honey. She's like, you did it wrong. I'm like, no.
I'm like, I wanted to be a part of this, and he's like, just walk with it. I'm like, dude.
I think I get both sides of that though, because I feel like I feel like there's books usually when we were literally just talking about this, because when I give him a gift, like a big gift for his birthday or Christmas or whatever the case may be, I try to make it something that even if it's slabbed, he can probably crack it,
right,
press it, upgrade it, so that way he's still part of it. You know what I mean? And because I feel like being part of it, you're right, it's like half the fun.
I wanted I wanted to do this whole thing, and like, so here's the other sad side of this, and I'm gonna throw him under the bus. I love to buy statues. I love, like, I can tell.
Stop leaving him in the front seat of the car.
No, it's not my fault. So I love statues. I love a good, like, I could tell when, like, he's taught me. Again, I look at something, I'm like, oh, that's not a good statue. Like, but I could tell. So I found this really nice statue of Aquaman
and Mara.
And it was beautiful. He's holding her. I'm like, that's perfect. But then I found this other Wonder Woman one. And I'm like, I'm going to get him Wonder Woman. And then I'm like, I'm going to come back for Valentine's Day. I'm going to get him the Aquaman one. He heard, I like the Aquaman. Guess who got it?
You did. You did. I knew the answer to that.
I had credit at the store, and it's still hers.
I should have known better.
And I'm like, look, honey, we got this. And she's like, no, you
got it. Like, okay, my fault. I shouldn't have said anything. I know better.
I
wanted to get it before it was gone, because somebody could have come in and bought it, and then it wasn't there,
Sorry.
No, the best part, so she's gotten me statues twice for Christmas, right? And it's been, both times have been ruined because she leaves it in the car, and then I've got to go take the car. I've got to go out. It's not true. Get something from the fridge, right? And it's right there in the seat of the car.
Guys, he's always here, and he's always taking my car. I'm like, stop taking my car, Christmas. Just, you're not allowed. Get out.
Right.
Put it
I
in
would
the
take them
chat.
off the PayPal. Like when I was getting that ASM book form, I was like, I'm taking over the PayPal. You cannot log in. You cannot get into it whatsoever. If you have any questions,
I turned
ask me.
notifications off, so I wasn't getting notifications
We do the
anymore.
same thing with Amazon.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's so hard as a
Turn off the
person
reminders.
that doesn't go hunting with them. I don't like. I know certain things and I know certain key issues. Like anytime he has said anything, I literally have it on my phone before I even have a chance. And I mean 2-3 weeks maybe before I even have a chance to go to the comic store and go, hey, I'm looking for this. Oh, guess what I got today? I'm like, I quit. Like, I just
We've
quit.
had situations similar to that kind of too. Yeah.
Well,
Oh, I'm sure.
But I'm going to share this, and then we're going to get back to you guys. 'Cause
So
you're
sorry.
the point of the show.
Oh no, it was awesome.
5 years ago, 6 years ago, for Christmas, I open up a box, and it's got like some shitty dollar books in it. And I'm like, oh, honey,
I had
this
to.
was a great idea.
I had to. I knew they were bad.
This is a great, like attempt and everything. Of course, the last book at the bottom was Silver Surfer #1. Like
Oh,
the
That's a
original.
huge grail of mine.
Yeah, I was like,
You said this, and I am not kidding. I literally canceled the rest of my day. And I drove right to it. And I'm like, I need this. And they're like, oh, you must be Jim's wife. And I'm like, yes, I am. I need that book right there.
the words were like, if a hot redhead walks in here, I want that book.
Yeah. So he said this, and I'm like, I'm not taking any chances. I'm doing this. And I had to do. I knew there were terrible books. I knew there were terrible books. They were in terrible condition. It wasn't like it was stuff that we would probably get for our kids, like when we're teaching them how to handle comics.
Right.
It's that kind of stuff. So yeah, I had to.
That's so awesome.
Yes.
But yeah, so she definitely knows me.
Yes,
Oh,
I
yeah.
do. I know better than to at this point. Just can you guys please remind him around Christmas? Don't go to your wife's car. I would really help.
Use your own food during the holidays.
I don't think you should be allowed in your spouse's car. Sorry.
Stop
Yeah,
laying
literally.
people down. Put a blanket over it.
Anyway, sorry guys. I just wanted to say hello and
No,
show you
that's
that. Look,
awesome.
this is my attempt. And
Aww.
this is my attempt. This was my attempt. Okay.
But it's
Good job.
Thank you.
awesome.
I tried. I love you too.
Baby.
I mean, we've still never we haven't even done our own CGC submission yet. All the slabs we have was already slabbed.
we'll get there.
But yeah, we're planning one soon.
Well, if you need help with cleaning and pressing, DS is great.
That's who we have
That
in
one's
mind.
going to DS.
Yeah,
Jimmy, I got a box ready to go to you, mate. So
right on. Yeah, I just got some from JP, and I got some from another friend of Big Will's. So yeah, whenever you're ready, buddy.
I actually need to go through. I might make a show and maybe talk with JP about it, and just try and narrow down and be a bit realistic as to what I want to send in. One of them will be
That's kind of what we're doing.
slab.
What's that?
One of them will be a cracking of a slab. What Delphia was talking about.
Very cool.
To
Yeah, no,
reproduce.
I do that often. I mean, because you can get that book for a good price, and then if it's got the margins, absolutely.
That's
Ones that's on our list is probably gonna be this one because how this one's gotten pretty hot lately.
Oh yeah.
But this thing might be a 9/8 candidate.
Oh, look at that!
Oh, that's
Nice.
beautiful.
Death of Gwen Stacy.
There you go.
That is beautiful.
It's
And
not
it's PGX.
though.
It's what?
It's a PGX, and I
Um,
think it's better than what that grade says.
I think so too.
Yeah. Well, that wouldn't be the first time now, would it?
right.
I've gotten a lot farther though in my 2021 list than I ever did my 2020 list. Is I've gotten to the point where I've got them all priced out and I was able to separate them today into the easy to get is going to be harder to get. So I have just the two different ones, but it's been so fun doing the research to see which ones I'm hunting and why I'm hunting this certain one, and it's
Well, let's jump into that, guys. Let's talk about that. I'm going to give you guys the spotlight. So, what are you hunting this year?
Actually, there was one that I had already found like the first day we went to the comic book store after we put our list together.
There you
It was
go.
this one, the Millennial Edition. Millennium. Yeah.
Those are cool. Yeah, I mean, those are not actually easy to find.
Yeah, I was surprised that we found it as soon as we did. I was like, wait, what? Because I just put it on the list, and it was one of the first ones on the list. But when we went to Black Cats, I come across it as like, no way. There's not a.
I thought that would have been one of the hardest. I thought that would be the hardest one for us to find.
I thought it was going to be too, and it was just like right there, and so it's in excellent condition. Like it's just really good.
So that's the Tech 27 Millennium Edition, right?
Yeah. And then there was one other one on my hunt list that they had, but I didn't like the price for it. It was the
Just for the condition it was.
it was the condition and the price that they were selling it for. It was the Detective 387, where he's holding the two different covers.
Is that like it's an anniversary issue, right?
It's an anniversary one, I think. Yeah.
It is an anniversary one. I think it's 380. Yeah, it is 387. That's the 30th anniversary, and they had that one, but they're selling it for like 25, and it just had a fold on it with a line. And I'm like, I could find a better condition one for it, but I debated there for. I was like, is this the only time I'm going to come across this book, or am I the?
I kind of had to talk you into it that like I wouldn't get it. Like we can get a better grade for that same price. Like
exactly, yeah. So. But
yeah, that's part of the game as a collector is just finding. I mean, when you have a goal in mind, a set goal in mind, it's like, okay, I don't want really lower than this, or maybe I'll just take anything I can get right now because it's so old or unavailable. Yeah, good for you for having I can get it, but it's not what I want.
Yeah, because that's hard to do that a lot of the times too. Like one of my ultimate grails, SS4, that's like a book that. Classic cover like that, you need to get it in the highest grade possible. Where my ultimate grail, this is the milestone on this one, but FF5.
Yeah, Marvel Milestone Edition. Yeah. That's kind of on my list this year. I've got a whole separate thing that I'm doing for that book because it's crazy.
Oh yeah.
One other one that I was really surprised I found so soon was this one.
Oh yeah, I just got that book.
Yeah, I was super stoked to get the book, and it's those are the only two I've found so far.
So those what if books are really kind of catching fire in some cases, right? Like when something actually turns in the canon, right? With Elektra taking on the Daredevil mantle, like it's odd to me that book, like the what if she lived? Because I guess did she become Daredevil in that book or something?
I don't know. You haven't read it yet, have you?
I haven't had the chance to read it yet.
Let me know if you do.
Yeah,
I'll let you know.
I'll let you know.
Because for some reason, like that specific book is like gaining in popularity.
Yeah,
kind of like the What If 10 with the Jane Foster Thor.
Yeah.
I
really want that one.
The one that was on my hunt, top of my list last year that I found. Not the What If one, but her first appearance from the
Thor
run, the 2014 one or whatever. And I got this one later last year too. This was a big grail of mine.
Oh yeah. That's his first solo story.
Yeah, and first appearance of Valeria too.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I've always loved this. This is one of my favorite covers.
So what else is on your guys' list for this year?
So the easier to find is definitely going to be Avengers 223 with Ant-Man and Hawkeye.
Oh, where he's on the arrow?
Yeah. I'm just a big Ant-Man fan. I like it. So that one's going to be easier to find. And then, surprisingly, I'm looking more forward to finding the second appearance of Ivy than I am the first. I do still want the first appearance, but I have it in the facsimile, and I kind of like both covers, but that's one that's definitely on there, as well as the Batman 183.
That's a cool cover. So if you haven't seen it, it's like Batman and Batman and Robin are in the Batcave, and Robin's like, "Hey, we gotta go." Batman's like, "Nope, I'm sitting at home tonight." It's like, what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've always liked that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one I'm super excited for. And then there's one I almost got the facsimile for, and I didn't realize it at the time what it was until after. And so when I went back to get it, it was gone. But it was the DC Superstar 17, where it's Huntress in the alternate world is the daughter of Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle. So that's another one that we're hunting, and yeah,
it's a very cool book. It's the first official appearance of the Huntress character, but then because it's Helena Wayne, and then for whatever reason they're counting that All-Star Comics edition as like her quote unquote first appearance. So I think it might be like different characters.
And like, I mean, he's like, I was into comics beforehand, but when we started our collection together, he's really gotten me more into it. That I've cataloged everything, and recently I even cataloged everything on the Key Collector app of what we have and the condition. And
wow,
it's definitely evolved, and so I'm super stoked for some of what we have. And then the one other one I have on my list is the first appearance of Mystique. The Miss Marvel 18.
And that's an interesting arc because there's 3 books.
16, 17.
The 16, 17, and 18, where she's like, it's a cameo appearance as Nick Fury, and then like it's a cameo appearance, and then it's a first full appearance. But 18 is definitely the better money book for her first full appearance. That's cool. Anything else specific to this year?
The one I actually already almost pulled the trigger on this recently online. I didn't quite yet, but this is one that I really want to get, the Knight Rider number 1.
Oh, yeah, the original Ghost Rider from, the Bronze Age Ghost Rider?
This is the Bronze,
They rebranded it?
When they renamed it Knight Rider, He used to be Ghost Rider, the original Ghost Rider, but that was when the Bronze Age one, when they renamed it Knight Rider. Because that's one thing that I collect that she really doesn't, is like I do collect like some Western stuff, and because growing up I used to watch a lot of that stuff with my grandpa and stuff, and like no, it's not the only Golden Age books anymore, but they were our first 2 Golden Age books we ever got, were these 2 Lone Ranger books.
The Dell ones?
I think I have them. The Dell ones. I think they're somewhere. Yeah,
there's some very cool there's like painted covers, and then there's picture like actual like photo covers of those books. Those are exactly there's the painted covers. Those are cool. Those are not easy to find in good condition either, because every time I come across them they are trashed.
Yeah, but it's so very true.
This is one of the things that we will definitely submit on our first CGC. That Joe Jusko.
Oh yeah, I found that. I as soon as I saw that, I ordered that one up for that. Was that Silver Surfer Black, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sadly, none of mine are grade worthy. They both came in with some color breaks on the spine, but I was like, you know what? That don't matter, because it's a cool cover. It's a cool rendition of it.
Yeah, mine does have some not too bad, but yeah, I could see it.
That one recently that you did, that you had cracked open, cleaned, pressed, sent back, got the same grade, and then you did it one more time, and then
the NYX3.
The third time was the time. That was so
awesome.
good.
Oh, that was so relieving to actually have gotten it back the second, because I was like, there's no reason why this thing wasn't it the first time. I'm like, it should have gone. So, but then when you look at the value differential on those 2 books, right, it was like not between a 9.6 and a 9.8. I'm like quadrupling my values. I'm like, it's worth it for me to try again for another $20.
Yeah, that's what I told you too. And when we were watching it, that's what I told her. I was like, and just the difference between that 9.6 and 9.8 is pretty big. I guarantee you.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And that's just the other Lone Ranger one.
Right on. All right, so let's bring us back out. So I've got another question that I kind of want to ask. This is kind of like dovetailing off of what Delphia was talking about before. Well, that and the mistake that I made. So, what's the coolest thing that you have gotten for your partner? Like coolest like collecting thing that you've gotten for your partner? Let's start with the ComicHaulics.
I think mine was the bullseye cover.
Oh yeah. What Punisher? Oh my god. The one where it's like he's the troll face.
Yeah, it's like
It's so funny. But we got that because we like trolls, and we ended up getting it graded. It's like a 9. It was a 9.6, which is
Like
awesome.
the little doll trolls?
oh no,
No, like-
it's like you know the like
The troll face.
Yeah, like
I don't even
It's
want
like
to do
a-
it, but with like the jaw.
it's like when we saw that comic, we saw it in the shop, and we didn't get it.
Because it's kind of expensive.
It's kind of expensive, and I didn't realize it. And so I think our second Christmas, I got it for him. No, it's Punisher.
Yeah, Punisher.
Biggie says it's the bullseye cover.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I know.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
Like-
Yeah.
He's kind of like
It's
Yeah.
hilarious, but because we like trolling and stuff.
and so I got it for him for Christmas, and oh my god,
Yeah, that was probably.
we still have it.
Yep. And
and-
then
Love it.
I think mine would be I got to do Batman Adventures Mad Love.
Yeah.
And you'd like.
Oh my god, I couldn't believe it because I'd gotten a new job, and I was really excited about it. And he got it for me to surprise me as like a congratulations thing. I thought it was really sweet.
Yeah. Other than that, though, like we mainly do all of anything comic related together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not too many surprises
No.
because we enjoy like the excitement of like
And you hate surprises in general.
yeah, they give me anxiety. I don't surprises. Present surprises. So I'm like, just tell me
Yeah.
straight up.
Yeah, those are probably each of our.
Yeah, but the troll face one, I was very proud of myself for that.
Nice. Second Christmas too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're on almost our fifth.
Mhm.
Oh my god.
All right, Delphia and Kachoong, how about you? Best gift you gave each other?
Well, we actually had a quick side discussion about this because I was looking for it to reference what I thought it was, and he had no idea what I was talking about. So I thought that the black suit Spider-Man slab, the
Yeah.
9.8, or
Mhm.
the other
Secret Wars 8.
or the other signed slab that CGC verified that I got you. Honestly, I can't remember, babe. I don't know where they're at. But they're expensive. So I thought either one of those, but apparently it was this Moon Knight statue that I got him for his birthday.
That's his
Yeah,
favorite
that's
thing
awesome.
you gave him.
Right, from his side, that is
Alright.
the best gift that I've given him in, I guess, this room and realm of gifts that I could give. You need to grab it.
That's great.
So Biggie had mentioned here that Melody, his I think they're married, yeah, had helped him get his Amazing Spider-Man annual #1, which that is absolutely huge.
By the way, the slabs that I mentioned, they were on his Grail list. So
Oh,
it's just random slabs that I
Right.
got.
But this Moon Knight statue, which is just honestly very cool. Is that like pewter or,
What's that?
is that made out of pewter or something?
It's really heavy, yeah.
Yeah, it looked like it's heavy.
It's a limited edition. I guess this. You said collecting, so I kind of lumped this in. I guess it gave me the biggest O face if you think of it that way. But yeah, I love this thing. But yeah, I mean, the Secret Wars 9.8 is pretty amazing.
I mean, honestly, whatever he's the happiest. If that makes you the happiest, babe, that's cool.
Yeah.
Loved it.
All right. So what about Kachoong? What's the best thing that he's given you?
Okay, so now you're not going to make him answer first. He's got to go first. Like,
You
what is
went first.
the best thing?
Oh, okay.
yeah, like what is
Oh yeah. Like,
together? And I
tell us what you feel the best thing that you've given her is.
I thought the Betty Page was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, no, that was a cool thing. I mean, I think probably if I had to, I think the coolest thing he's given me as far as comics and all this stuff goes, was my birthday collection. That was pretty cool.
Birthday collection. So you'll have to explain that.
Birthday books.
Oh, my birthday books.
I found as many as I could.
So he just found all these really cool random books that came out on my birthday. And I was like, wow, that's really cool. And honestly, it's funny because I find myself gravitating to a lot of the books that probably would have been, I guess, popular like right before my time, like before my time for sure. But they're around my birthday book time. And I just love those books naturally. And he got me a nice little collection of them. Two of which I actually almost regifted to him tonight for the second time. And I was like, hey, babe, I know I love Doctor Strange, but you really love Doctor Strange. But on the back of it, it says birthday book.
Like, can't do that one.
But that makes it special. Yeah. I think that's the coolest thing. I mean, he's gotten me some really cool books. But
so why tonight?
Why? Oh, because I was going through all of my books. And they're all over the place, like all over the floor.
What kind of prepping for the show? I
could, for like the last question, I would have given like an ode to your wife for her like love of art, because I definitely fall into that bucket myself. Kachoong always says I should be an interior designer, and that kind of stuff just comes naturally to me. Like even when we cosplay, I can visualize things very easily as far as like from the beginning to end, what we need to do to make it right. But these are some of my favorite covers.
Yeah, the Jenny Frison stuff.
Oh yeah,
gorgeous.
Yeah, my wife loves Jenny Frison's work. She actually contacted her to get the sketch of Wonder Woman that we wanted, but apparently she doesn't do like sketches like that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, she has a really different like process how she does her work.
Yeah, no, her work is fantastic the way she draws stuff.
She's incredible.
Mark Brooks is her favorite artist.
Oh, I do love Mark Brooks. He's definitely
Mark Brooks is
hands down is my favorite.
Yeah,
I love Mark Brooks.
He's incredible.
He's on our list too.
His Captain Marvel work, I think, is the best portrayal I've ever seen of Carol Danvers in that setting. It's just incredible.
Mm-hmm.
The dark Captain Marvel.
Oh yeah, those were great. Those and Star, yeah, absolutely. Like I didn't pick up the Captain Marvel run, but I started picking up those specifically. Like those were great.
I almost did, yeah, because I liked him, but I didn't. I got the Star #1, but
yeah.
She has pistols around.
Yeah, I gotta.
There's like the puddle, the reflection of her in the green suit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good.
All right.
It made me want to read them.
Yeah. Well, I've got so I always crack the digital codes out and I just read the digital codes and then keep everything else just kind of filed away. But Soldier and Futures, best gifts you gave each other.
Well, best gift you gave me is that one's an easy one.
I would say the Doom mask and ASM 129.
What mask?
The Doom mask.
Oh, the Doom mask. Gotcha.
Yeah. This one. It's so in detail, like.
That
I
is
spoil
cool.
him. I can't help it. I spoil the hell out of him.
Yeah, that was from this Christmas, wasn't it?
Yeah, this most recent Christmas I got this, and then the ASM 129.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if for the best thing you've gotten me, I think it would be one of them would be the statue of the Bat and Cat bombshell version of Batman and Catwoman statue that's out in my wall out in the living room. I think it's one of the best things you got me because I love Bat and Cat so much.
Yeah, that's one thing with our collection is like, Batman and Catwoman are definitely like our main thing, like our biggest thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we both have a lot of love because Batman's like my ultimate favorite character, and Selena Kyle was.
Even though they didn't actually get married in the comics, it would turn into a nightmare, but it's still like he's Batman Cat and it works. So there's like
Aw,
That's
cute.
cool.
Yeah.
My wife had to throw this out there. There's actually another story. There's a story about this. I'll share in the green room afterwards. But yeah, she got me a Boris the Bear book, and there's a much larger story behind that one. She's sneaking off to go grab it right now. Oh, she already got it. Yeah.
Oh, sure.
So I mentioned that I got into comics from G.I. Joe, right? I was a kid, playing with G.I. Joe toys, saw my first G.I. Joe comic, and like from that, the rest is history. I'm at dinner. We're at dinner for just a night out, and we're at P.F. Chang's, right? And P.F. Chang's is not a loud restaurant. I started telling her about these books that I collected back in the day. It was like this Boris the Bear book where he was like Snake Eyes on the cover. And she is laughing hysterically in the restaurant. And it's just like, I'm like looking around, like people are looking at her because I'm telling her about this. I'm trying to explain Boris the Bear. Now, if you've ever read Boris the Bear and you try to explain that to somebody else, they're just going to look at you like you're fucking nuts. It's like, it's this little toy, like animatronic bear that goes and murders other fuzzy creatures. Like, do you have a therapist? So it hangs in my office. I see it every day because that's something she got me. And she was like, the shipping cost more than the book did. Which doesn't surprise me.
Right.
Anyway.
Honestly, a lot of the stuff like on our list and like what I'm after, what I'm going after at least, it's stuff that probably doesn't mean hardly anything to anybody else, like.
Yeah, it's personal.
Yeah.
Exactly. The sentimental value to it. I think I just updated one of the displays to have the something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue Batman books next to our wedding photo. So it's like the one book on the other side and then the other one. And it's like, it works.
That's cool.
Yeah, from their wedding book.
That is very cool.
Sentimental.
So,
I don't have a list for the year. I just I made a list for always,
Oh, okay. So you're working off a definitive list.
Right. We
master list.
spent about a whole year or a little bit more not getting any books and just refining the collection. So I concentrated on what characters do I really love, and so I kind of broke down my grails based on, this 6 main characters plus a couple extras like Star Wars and Aliens and Predator. But I just basically made like a 40 book list, and that's not for this year. If I get one on the top 10.
Oh no, you're not getting out of it, Cher. You came on the show, Cher. We got plenty of time.
Well, if this is my top 10 was actually 10A because I forgot about Kanan 1. But Marvel Superheroes 12 is my top book. First appearance of Captain Marvel, because my two main Marvel characters are Moon Knight and Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, this is just so cute. Like it says 2021 and beyond. Do you know what beyond means? Death, right?
Yeah. The great beyond.
The great beyond. The holy land of hunting. The hunting holy land.
Right? No. Get that list up. We want to see the list. Let's talk about it.
I would put number 2 as Werewolf by Night, but I've got to be realistic.
Yeah, right. I think we
These
all
are
have to be realistic.
affordable grails. All of these are pretty affordable grails, And
now, Showcase 55. That's an interesting book. That's
so you can talk.
first Solomon Grundy, right?
no, it's actually Dr. Fate as well and Silver Age.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cover his face up.
Oh, sorry. It's because the camera. We talked about this.
Flip around.
It's not oriented properly, but we're good
Right.
now.
Dr. Fate and Demon are my 2 DC.
Uh-huh.
It's funny, all of my favorite characters right now, except Spider-Man, but I only want Spider-Man the first, maybe up to 400.
Now,
So-
do you?
Turn it around. There's more.
There you go.
That's not it.
All right, okay, so you got the 2 black suit Spider-Mans on there. You got Marvel Team Up 141 and now Spectacular Spider-Man 90. So you're trying to round out the set.
Yeah,
Oh,
I have
wait.
252, and I have
Oh wait,
Secret Wars
here
8.
we go.
There we go.
It's beyond, guys. Come on.
Forever and beyond.
Very cool. All right, well, like, okay, so pick a book on here and tell me what's something special. Some of these are random.
Oh, they're very random. So, as far as I was about to say, like a lot of these characters, I don't have current series going. So, Demon, I really wanted to try and find all of his appearances, and
Demon?
so that's why Swamp Thing Annual 2 is on here, because it's
I was wondering about that. Yeah,
amazing cover, and it has a
Here's
demon
a Swamp
in
Thing
it.
annual with
Yeah, she has
Batman on it for
The
Soldier.
future.
Hell yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I love Swamp Thing too.
So really, these Grails are broken down to, Captain Marvel, Moon Knight, Dr. Fate, Demon, and then my Star Wars and Predator and Aliens. But I did have the first Predator series, the first Alien series, but they got lost in a move. So I would like to eventually get those back.
I think they're collecting that in an omnibus coming up.
Yeah, now because the Aliens
Disney
and Predator were independent, they're now Marvel. So it's-
Marvel bought them now.
yeah.
That's exciting.
That's caused a hell of a craze. It's so funny because I picked up all of those like Aliens and Predator appearances and Dark Horse Presents and everything like a year or so ago, almost 2 years ago, and I'm just like, oh yeah, hey, these are popular.
Yeah, they're popular now.
And I really enjoy Dr. Aphra. The Marvel's done a good job with Star Wars. I'm rereading. I got the app so that I don't have to spend as much money on books. I can go back and read a lot of these books and reread what I've already read. And, as far as Dr. Aphra's first appearance, I don't have it, so I've never read it. And I've actually now read it because it's on the app.
The droids are the best part of that series.
I love the psychotic droids.
Murder droids, yeah. It's a C-3PO and R2-D2, but if they were like torture droids.
Yeah, awesome. I still haven't seen all four of them together. I'd like to see them all four together, but
oh yeah, right, that would be funny.
I actually have a couple of Star Wars omnibuses I need to read.
Okay, so Delphia, we've seen Kachoong's list. What's your list, or is it the same? Because that sounded very Kachoong centric.
I think all of that is very Kachoong specific. I think honestly for me, a big reason that I wanted to kind of go through before was really to figure out how do I talk about my collection? You know what I mean? Because my collection has been so organic from all of the times that we've gone hunting, and just what I picked out. And I really wanted to make sense of it. But for me, the things that I love the tortured heroes. So I have a very robust collection of tortured heroes, which I would say Swamp Thing falls into that category.
And Batman, for that matter.
Yeah, but Batman is not. I mean, I loved Batman growing up, but I just don't really connect with that character. So I like Catwoman. I think you could beg to argue that she's also a tortured character. So I think that all the tortured characters usually fall under my umbrella. I like the Toxic Avenger.
Nice. I love the Toxic Avenger.
I love the Thing. And so that probably rounds out a good amount of my collection.
Kind of like the Cursed Heroes.
Cursed Heroes, Sexy Ladies. I like, I love collecting. I definitely have some a connection to Betty Page from outside of comics. Just growing up and really connecting with that, persona and character. And honestly, I mean, for me growing up, a lot of times people, when I was in college, used to tell me that I looked like Betty Page. And so it was just someone that I identified with, and I collected a lot of those things. So it just became almost a part of my identity to an extent, not my identity, but an extension of who I am and things that I love. And I think that's kind of how I'll collect and continue to collect. I love Catwoman. I love the Baylet run. I think the Baylet run and me loving it has a lot to do with the artwork. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
some of the best artwork I've seen out of all of these books, and I can be pretty brutal. And I think I would definitely love to get the rest of the Marvel Zombies run.
That original run is so great with all the second and third printings. Like I gave those up a long time ago, and then I bought the hardcover of just the covers, and I love it so much. It's like it really kind of drives me to want to get those covers again because they're just so good.
They're so amazing.
They are.
Like you couldn't ask for like more than this cover gives you.
Oh yeah.
Right. It's funny because I've been thinking about that lately too, of wanting to get those. Yeah.
I got a selection of prints from Arthur Sudum at a Comic-Con, and nice signed stuff. But my favorite one, honestly, still to this day, is he did Crisis on Infinite Earth 7, The Death of Supergirl, and he's like they're like both kind of like dead and Superman's dead and he's holding her, and she's not a zombie, but she's got an apple in her mouth.
Oh wow,
that's cool.
Like at a luau, it was hysterical to me.
That's so cool. But I think outside of that, outside of collecting for those little pockets of interest that I have, definitely. One? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that is so cool. He's got his head in his hand. Yeah, that's so funny.
That's really cool. No, I was just
first of your ladies, like
just all the
Harley Quinn, Lady Death,
Wonder
Woman, first silver Catwoman. I know Fuchsia got the first silver
Where's
Catwoman.
that awesome Lady Death that just got sent from?
This one.
Oh, here it is. This is so cool. This is just amazing. Look at this.
Oh, that is gorgeous.
And I haven't found out who the cover artist is. It doesn't say inside because it's a gallery. Every page is a different artist of Lady Death.
Oh, that's cool. So it's cover galleries are nice.
Yeah,
a lot of stories really great art.
Oh, look, Downright Nerdy has a bunch of zombie ones. That's cool. Yeah, very cool. I'll definitely read that. But I think this is a really cool book. All Lady Death is on the table. So if I don't feel like I come across a lot of Lady Death, especially when we're out like hunting. I think it's something I never find. I also never find a lot of back issues of Catwoman when we go out. Maybe like 2 or 3.
Yeah, she's already picked all the spots, right?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm always on the hunt for a Catwoman that I don't have. I'm always on the hunt for Lady Death that I don't have. And I mean, I say that we have some capped out space, and I truly believe that in my heart. But like, who knows, right? Like,
you never know. Yeah.
You can always add another shelf. You know that, right?
We both are collectors at heart. So I mean, I think he knew, like, as soon as he pulled me into this hobby, like there was, a very, very good chance I would spiral, right down with him.
That wasn't the plan. But...
My wife is over there just nodding her head.
You definitely have to rein each other in. Sometimes I'm reining her in. Sometimes she's reining me in. And
usually, if he tells me if we're hunting and he comes up to me, he's like, "Okay, we've met budget." I'm like, "Okay, I'll stop looking right now." But then if it happens vice versa though too, to where I'm like, "Okay, I'm good." And it's funny because sometimes we'll go hunting and he'll have really good luck and find everything he's looking for, and I won't find anything at all. Yeah. And then it'll happen to where I'm finding everything and he's not finding it. One thing that he's looking for, and it just like kind of goes back and forth. But then there's the rare occasions that we both win, so it just kind of like balances out. But one other one,
leaving the store and like not having like there was nothing here, that I cared about or was interested in. You're kind of dejected. It's just like
yeah, I know.
I need coffee.
That's when you get something for someone else.
Yeah.
That's a really good point, Delphia. Yeah, I mean, you can always find something for somebody else, to kind of
exactly, yeah,
to do that.
Very true too. And like one other one that's on the hunt list that I put on the back burner is Batman 313, because it's the reason I wanted it is it was Bat and Cat's first date and kiss, and then it's currently going up because it's like the first appearance of like Tim Fox or something.
Yeah. Future state thing.
So that one's just
wait. That whole thing will wear off, and then
that's right, Colder. Yeah, that's not going to hold.
Yeah, it'll just go on the back burner for now.
All right, so we got to get to the Holics here. So you guys have got to tell us. I mean, you guys have something else that you're saving up for this year.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Right. And you guys have had a solid couple of years, though, right? Because last year you bought the house.
Yep.
And you got engaged.
Yep. I'm efficient. I don't know. So our collecting this year, I feel like we're with Kachoong. It is 2021 and beyond because we're probably not going to buy too much this year as far as comics go. Basically,
have you thought about putting them on your registry?
Oh, that's too good. Look out.
Our guest list is like literally 50 people because of this stuff, and it's all like family members that are kind of older.
Yeah,
that wouldn't work.
Who needs a toaster?
Yeah, right. You guys already have a toaster and silverware,
right?
The toaster.
The limit for our Allen is 50 people, so it was hard narrowing down.
Yeah, but I highly doubt they'd want to give us comic books.
Yeah, but our so basically mostly last year and then this year we're basically we're just grading a lot of books. That's what we've been doing. A lot of CGC submissions and unboxings, which because we don't want to add to our collection right now. We want to basically lab everything that we have, and
that's kind of where we are right now. Because there was a point where we were just buying, just to buy,
and drinking an eBay. I think was bad. Bad.
But yeah, definitely we've definitely taken a turn recently compared to what we were doing for a lot of years, which was buying, keeping up with everything. But now we're definitely trying to slap everything.
But stuff that we are always going to be looking for, I would say, is early Spider-Man, like Spider-Man and X-Men and Fantastic Four.
Yeah. So we have like a small list, but first one is ASM 300. That has been, if you guys have ever seen our videos, I think from the beginning that we were like, we're one of our biggest thrills.
It's like, could we buy it? Yeah, but we're so stingy on like we want a freaking deal.
Yeah.
First Mysterio, first Raven, first Sinister Six. That's all you, Ragdoll.
Okay. This book haunts me in my dreams. Like, I swear to God.
Watching him on screen haunts a lot of people, but why is the first Ragdoll?
It's so random.
It's so random, but it popped up one time. I was scrolling through Twitter, and it popped up. And I don't know much about Ragdoll. I don't know the full story. I will admit that. However, I looked it up. I was like, oh, and I saw the first cover, and I was like, that's terrifying. Cool cover. And I went, I want to find this. So we went to our, as I say, local LCS.
Local comic shop.
So what's the book? What's the book?
Flash Comics 36.
I cannot find this.
Even if you check eBay, it's never there. However, right before the show, I looked it up. It just sold last month for $550.
I cannot find it in any store.
Wow.
I can find it online. I'm genuinely mad, and at this point, it's like I want to buy it just out of. I'm like, I need to find this book.
I don't know how it's going.
It's so creepy.
It is creepy.
And I need it now. I need it.
It's cool.
Even if I can't even read it, at this point, it's basically like I need this book. Don't even care. It's a spite. This is war. It's this war against this book.
One that I really want is X-Men 3, the first pop. We got graded, but it was actually my dad's. Oh, yep. It's a creepy cover.
That is pretty
creepy. I mean, like, for the 40s, that's pretty creepy.
Yeah.
It like makes me mad at how I can't find it anywhere in stores. Of
course, you're not going to find it in stores. It's from the 40s.
I want to buy it and then yell at it.
Well, we hunt for comics a lot in antique stores and stuff. And we're like, you never know.
Well, but I remember sometimes I'll be like, maybe we'll find.
We did. We did. So we were thumbing through books one time at an antique shop, and all of a sudden it was coverless, but we saw the splash page. AF-15. I almost shit my pants.
It was like a random It's called like Remember When. It's in
Yeah.
like, the middle of nowhere.
So I just like pulled it up. I was like, it's AF-15. It looked beat up. It's coverless.
We were like,
Pulled it up. We're like, oh my god, it's only $1. It was a reprint, of course.
Ah.
Yeah,
we checked it and it was like
1993 or something.
yeah, it was like 1996.
Yeah,
I was like,
when it's that beat up, you're figuring it's from the
exactly.
Yeah.
This is
because
it.
we looked at each other, we went, oh my god, we can pay off everything.
We're like,
We were
finally.
we were like, this is it.
You could take the staples out and sell the pages off individually.
Yeah, yeah.
Individual page.
Right.
Yeah, X-Men 3, the first blob. We got that graded from my dad, and I've been trying to buy it off him for a good deal. First Supergirl we want, and then the only other one that I really think was the first Wonder Man. I wanted that for a while, and
First Wonder Man?
yeah, yep. That's pretty much it. As of right, what?
I don't remember if we talked or not, but so one of my favorite Marvel characters is Scarlet Witch.
Oh.
And I don't know if you guys have been watching the show, but really good.
Yeah.
Like House of M, all that stuff. I love it. And
We
so I
just
was
sent
like,
that.
I want
Was it 2001? I think it's the one in 25 here. Like pieces coming out. That.
Oh yeah, where she's falling apart. Yeah.
Yeah. We
I
just sent
think
that.
it's the coolest storyline ever, and the fact that she's
Yeah.
like one of the most powerful in the Marvel. Like,
Yeah, that's a good story. We've got the trade paperback for that.
I remember I read that.
Yeah, that show keeps getting better.
Yeah.
It really does. Yeah, we my kids, like, they won't let me watch it without them. So like it's always like it never happens on Friday when it comes out because there's always something else going on, work and school. But Saturday is like our day to watch it. So yeah, so we caught it this morning and this afternoon and it was like, wow.
Yeah, we watched
Yeah.
it.
But I can't say anything about it because my wife is sitting over there and she hasn't seen it yet. And
Oh yeah, no spoilers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
so-
But it just seems like every episode just pops. It's been
I
really
was
good.
nervous because
Mm.
I know it's not all based on House of M, but it's
No.
like the idea, like
Yeah.
her creating her.
Don't want to spoil. But yes, it's been.
I really, but recently I was like, you know what? I'd like to have that.
We were looking at her first appearance at one point, and I was gonna buy it, but something. We're just,
Yeah.
I haven't even looked at the prices lately, but I'd imagine they've gone up. So.
Yeah.
But
No, no,
again,
Yeah.
we're definitely grading our current book right now.
Yeah.
That's what we're focused
So that's why our list is very. But
on.
Very cool. Well, I mean, those are cool books. I mean, those are great. And like I said, I knew when you guys were, I was inviting you guys on that, there wouldn't be a lot from you guys. It was a focus this year because, I can imagine what saving up for a wedding looks like.
Yeah, it's fun.
yeah, but if anybody has any tips or any intel,
leads?
no, any leads on that ragdoll book, let me know because I want to yell at that book so bad.
It is.
Talk to Golden Age Guru.
I'm just
I'm
gonna.
sure he's probably seen it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the golden. What was the Golden Age book that you're really looking for?
It was 211, the last Golden Age appearance of Catwoman.
Isn't it Tech 211?
Is it Tech or is it?
It's Tech or Batman.
I thought it was. Hold on.
Uh,
It is. I thought it was. Yeah, it's Tech. It's Tech 211.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Tech 211. That's the last final Golden Age appearance of Selena Kyle. And when I was going through the key collector and just kind of hunting out different books and different titles, I was like, I could possibly find this one. And then today, looking up price ranges, I was like, it's not as attainable as I thought it was going to be.
It wasn't really the pricing that made it unattainable. It was the rarity. Because I even looked on the census and there was there was only I can't remember what it was because I've looked at a lot of books on the census today, but hardly any.
Low.
It was really low. I think it was only 20 or 30 or something like that.
Yeah. That is one of the rough parts with the Golden Age books. The rarity, one, yes, it drives up the price, but just finding it, period, right? No matter what the price actually ends up being, right? Because, you can get some Golden Age books for $30, right? It's not that crazy. But when it becomes like key characters like that, or something that's just incredibly rare to begin with, it just becomes an even bigger challenge.
There was one that sold recently for $400 though. That was in a really good condition. I'm like, okay, it gives me a little bit of hope, but at least now I know it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be. So
it's like we had been checking for that ragdoll book for a long time, never saw it even completed or sold or anything like that. And then happened to check the show, and it was $550 to sell for.
Like,
you guys ever use
blood pressure? I'm so bad about it.
Did you guys ever use a Mercari? Like we haven't yet, but I've heard a lot more people using that.
Yeah, and we use OfferUp. Obviously, Craigslist, the marketplace, and we've seen some stuff, but never. Like, I want to buy a collection, but that's not the wedding.
I know. I've been wanting to do that too.
Flat out buy a huge collection and just.
Yeah.
I actually have a video series coming out about that very thing. So
Ooh,
stay tuned for that one.
stay tuned for that.
But I do have to highlight some others. So I'm keeping this very couple centric. Mike mentioned that he's putting an authentic Vader costume on his wedding registry, and to match that up, he's putting an authentic Leia gold bikini on the registry for Riley. Now, Mike, I'm with you on this, buddy. However, when you think about the implication of Vader and Leia, it just doesn't work on the wedding registry, my friend.
Oh no!
I mean, I don't want to blow your dreams up here, but maybe I'd stay away from Luke as well. Just my personal.
I saw that he's been trying to convince Riley to elope. That's what I tried to convince him.
Yeah, I'm the one who wants the wedding. If you want to elope.
My wife and I were married at the Justice of the Peace a little over 20 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know. The more I thought about it, I was like,
it's more for family.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like, I was like,
have the party.
Yeah,
have the party
like,
in the backyard of your own brand new home.
Yep.
I was like, we're already, what's it called, like rooms or whatever, like whatever it's called, like we already live. We're following some like crazy tradition with like weddings or.
Yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. We already booked it and everything.
But you have somebody who paid for their entire wedding by selling their comic book collection.
Yeah, they used the rest of the or portion of his collection paid for his entire wedding.
Yeah, that's what I tell him all the time is we're going to end up having another wedding because it's like we got married at the courthouse and my wedding dress was like $13 that I found at Ross, and it was a good time, but we do want to eventually have like another wedding where it's like more family oriented and like more traditional. Yeah. We could always just get married again.
Absolutely.
So, renew our vows.
The registry.
We had a very small wedding. Honestly, I would have liked to have eloped, and I think the same for Kachoong. Just less money, less headache. The more people you involve, the more opinions you get. So it becomes everyone else's wedding. And ours was very small. Honestly, the guest list was 10 people. And so we rented a rooftop in Atlanta. We were living in Austin at the time. And it was a venue that typically holds somewhere around like 400 to 500 people, like a really beautiful venue. And they put up these beautiful scarves and everything, because honestly, to me, I wanted to be able to get nice pictures. That's all I really cared about.
That's our main goal.
Yep.
I was like, good pictures, nice dress, because the dress is something I'm going to keep. And I put it in a box. It's in like a
display box,
shadow box. The wedding,
Yeah.
the place that I got it from, they actually offer that as a service. Like when you buy the dress from them, you pay like, I don't know, $250 or $350 or something. They box it up, they send it away, they clean it, they clean your veil, and they put that in there too. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Pictures, and honestly, like low stress, like the least amount of money, but to like have that it still be nice. And so we spent the money on the food, because the location and catering, and it was expensive because of the venue. So on the venue and the food, and that was about it. But I cut a deal with the people actually running the venue, because I told them, I was like, look, I have a really small wedding. I'm like, do you guys do small weddings? And they were like, we don't really do small weddings. They're like, but there's no reason that we can't. So
nobody's just ever asked us before.
Right. And so basically we got the venue essentially for a minimum cost of the food. Like we had to spend so much food on food. So we got like a ridiculous course menu for our 10 guests.
We're doing like a we're doing a taco bar after hours.
Yeah, because we
I swear to God.
And specialty cocktails. And like that was it. So
hands down the best thing I've ever seen at a wedding was at a friend's wedding, and it was a meat cart, right? It was like all these what kind of meats were they? They were like, like cured meats and stuff. And it was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. It was a part Polish wedding, and it was just like this cart of meat. And you just like go over there, you're like, oh, yeah, let me get some of that and some of that. It was amazing.
Yeah. You know the funniest part though? Who might be marrying us?
Alex the comic hoarder. Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. That would be
fantastic. If he can't do it, we could always have Matt do it because he's now pretty much running the church down there. So
yeah, we might have him fly down. We might pay for his flight to come here because he told us from the beginning. He was like, I want to marry you guys. Like, right. So we got engaged. We're like, hey,
that's who we have to do ours. Yeah, when we redo ours.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that is fantastic. You got Alex. Did you talk to him about it already?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, that's great.
Fortnite with him.
Yeah, but of course with the pandemic and whatnot.
Yeah. And then you have to tear him away from Fortnite too, so that's going to be.
Yeah. Well, everything is like we're getting married on Halloween. He's got kids.
So he said it was like we were like totally up. But
well, it depends. Sometimes, like some of the neighborhoods over, because we're both Illinois, so some of the neighborhoods over here, it's like they do safe treats and stuff like that. And I don't know, I'm not sure how old his kids are, but like it could be on a day that's actually not Halloween. So
yeah, they do like trunk or treat.
Yeah.
It's we play Fortnite with his kids. It's not weird, but it's like funny.
It's funny.
Yeah, they're really nice. But we told them, we were like, we totally understand. Even some family members were like, oh, Halloween. Oh.
Yeah.
So I think we need to have Bub check his math. It's actually 3/7 of the guests look fantastic.
Your wife was on the show also.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. Okay, so half works. Perfect. But thank you for keeping me out of trouble. Well, I think we're actually going to wind down the show now. So what I want to do is actually go through for each of you guys to tell you what's going on your channels. So we'll start here to my left. We'll start with Soldier and Fuchsia. What do you guys have going on your channel?
We're thinking about doing a show tomorrow since we didn't do one today or for the past 2 weeks unintentionally. But we do plan on doing a show tomorrow. And then in a couple more weeks, I plan on doing another show with Mrs. G and Tori. And
the ladies' night?
Fantastic. Yeah, ladies. Yeah. It'll be an all-women crew. And
that gets pretty rowdy, I've seen.
That one will be the 20th of February. So I'm excited for it. But other than that, I think that's it.
Yeah, and then just our regular Saturday show, and I do have like a couple of videos, just like little some like video game stuff that I'm gonna probably be posting at some point on Instagram and YouTube. But yeah,
very cool. Delphia and Kachoong, what can we expect from you guys?
Oh, not a whole lot. We usually
honesty.
Honesty. Perfect. That's all we can ask for. I got to tell you, one of the things I love about you guys is so Kachoong is going to be in the chat, and Delphia is watching the show on a TV in the other room. And that's great that you guys are together, and it's always like, hey, Kachoong and Delphia, because we know she's there somewhere.
Oh, yeah. We're joined at the hip. So if one of us if I'm in there and he's not, he's probably passed out. And if he's in there and I'm not, I'm probably just busy and I'm going to be there in a minute.
Yeah. Or you're on the phone and we can't get you actually on camera.
Oh, or that. Definitely that. For sure.
Yeah. So, we'll try and get some cosplay on here in a little bit. We
I don't
usually
believe that.
we usually guests a lot on people's shows.
That's true.
I am kind of organizing in the background, possibly something with Mr. Garrel and Hoser. Star Wars centric.
That'll be cool.
Yeah.
Talk fest, share fest, kind of something that's central just about Star Wars because it's so big right now.
And he loves Star Wars, and
We're
I think
big
it would be.
fans.
It's not my idea. He's been talking about this for like 3 months, but I think it would be like a good outlet for him to share his love of Star Wars. He's got a lot to share.
Yeah, that's it with us too, because I love Star Wars, and she grew up more Star Trek. So
yeah,
there you go. That's a show right there.
I'm saying we get everybody back on for more couples shows because this is awesome. We can get Mike and Riley on here as well.
I've kind of wanted to do this like a regular thing because I mean we have Married with Issues like our show where it's mostly just us, but I wanted to do it like a show like this.
Absolutely.
With several other couples like this before too, because I'm stoked that you had us on for this because I've wanted to do this for a while because there's so many different ways you can collect as a couple and so many different variables. And
true. Well, I mean, you've already got the venue for it, the Married with Issues. That's a great title to begin with. So, yeah, just start bringing people on. That's perfect.
And we have like a shared dynamic between couples, as we've noticed on this show already. And definitely relate to one another.
Oh yeah.
Very cool. ComicHaulics. What do you got going on besides the upcoming nuptials?
So we just did a CGC unboxing.
Saw that. That was great.
Yep, and then we just sent another batch out, and we're probably gonna just keep doing that. I want to make it like a cycle, so it's like every week or so we have an unboxing too.
Yeah, our content definitely has changed and slowed down a bit because we did do a split from buying every week to getting stuff graded, trying to get our collection graded.
All the real life gets in the way. I mean, we saved for a house that.
Yeah, a lot of life changes this year with the pandemic and all that stuff. But so most of our content is definitely going to be the
grading,
the grading and like the guessing what the grades will be, which is our favorite videos to do.
Yeah.
We'll just sit in opposite rooms and we'll put what we think the grades are going to be and then cover it and then hand it off and the other person goes in the other room.
A lot of people say that they're very thankful that you don't work. So freaking brutal. It's like 7, it's a 9.8. Like what the frick?
I gotta be honest with you. There's days I've gotten stuff back I thought she did. I'm like, what is this?
7.
Listen.
She's a very strict grader. We'll give her credit on that end. Yes, we're very thankful she's not currently working there, but yes, she's a very strict grader.
It's better for us to be pleasantly surprised than disappointed.
What we find is it's usually in between what we both guess, which is pretty cool.
But I mean, other than that, if I get that ragdoll book, you're goddamn right. I'm gonna make a video on it.
Yeah.
Video on fire.
Oh my god.
I just set up a line of gasoline and then just light a match.
Oh my god, it'd be like the most played video on YouTube.
I was just gonna say, I was like
yelling at a comic book. You crazy, freaky looking thing.
Well, there goes $400.
Yeah.
Again, mostly our videos are gonna be.
It's an insurance fire, is what that is.
Yeah.
But yeah. Most of
Very
our stuff
cool.
is going to get graded videos.
Yeah.
Okay, so my wife has a question she'd like to ask.
So since I'm new to everyone here, did you guys collect before you guys got married? And for example, I, again, don't collect. So when the first time I touched a comic book, I was instructed on how to touch a comic book. So just as a question, did you guys start collecting after you were married? Oh, don't give that look. After you were married or before? Just a quick question to everybody, whoever.
Yeah, for us, it was we both collected before and then started collecting again together.
Okay.
We were before and then together.
The only difference is he was getting books graded, and I wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I was given the instructions of how to handle a book to get.
Oh, good. Okay, so I'm not the only one.
No, you're not the only one.
Because he's like, no, don't do that. So
One time I dropped
It was
a.
like,
yeah, it was something like that. And even now, like when our kids have touched stuff, I'm like, whoa,
depends on the book. If it's fresh from the LCS,
hold
I don't
on.
care.
And I'm the one that now tells our kids, don't touch that. Hold on.
When we first started dating, I accidentally dropped the first appearance of Riri Williams.
No, it was Miles Morales,
No,
wasn't it? Oh,
no.
the greatest. Oh no,
It
June
was,
did that.
no, we were in the comic shop and we were walking around. It was really rainy out that day, and I remember we found the first. I think it was the first appearance of Riri Williams. We were walking around. I actually dropped it on the ground. I went, "Oops, sorry," and he goes.
It's okay. It's just the second print. Nobody cares about those.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have never 2, 3, maybe a month when that happened. I did not hear the end of it. I was like,
I was rethinking things.
I was in the doghouse.
I can only imagine. And what about for you guys as well? Did you guys collect before?
I didn't collect until the last couple of years. And Kachoong, I had no idea. We dated for quite a while before we got engaged, before we got married, before we lived together, the whole nine. I mean, but we've been together for, quite a while now. So, I mean, like throughout, like, I can't even tell you honestly how long since we've been dating because it feels like forever. So, but I had no idea he was into comics. Like, I knew he loved Spider-Man, and things like that, but I had no idea that he was a comic reader, comic collector until, he brought his collection back. And, at that point, I still didn't want to start collecting. I have a very busy, like, work life. My work is very demanding. I spend a lot of time with that. My mom's here. We have 2 pugs, and one of my dogs is very sick. She's been sick for a few years. So, like, that's also, like, a big part of what I take care of. So I don't have a lot of time to read these books. You know what I mean? I enjoy doing it with him, and I enjoy it, and I enjoy the books. But I don't have time to get full on into it. But I started probably about 2 years ago, and but he's been collecting his entire life. So, but I think that's great. I wanted him to have something that he loved and to bring something home with him from Australia that he has memories with his mom, and I think it's important.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Like some people, like it bothers me that some people like, she lets you have comics. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, what?
She's an own person.
I'm like, time out. I'm like, and people are like, wow, you're okay with it. I'm like, why wouldn't I be? Like, it's not like.
It's a lot cheaper than crack.
Exactly.
True.
Depends on the book.
And more adults are into it than kids, so.
Yeah.
Happy spouse, happy house, not happy wife or anything.
Exactly.
Both gotta be happy.
It doesn't bother me at all. It's never bothered me. Like I'm the person that's like when I noticed that when he was talking earlier, all these white boxes, I'm like, they're in the basement and the basement can get flooded. And I'm like, I need to find something. First of all, I hate white boxes. But second of all, I'm like, I need to protect these books. And I'm like, how do you do that with that potential? And it's like, this is who he is. This is who he's always been. Mm-hmm. So it bothers me to the core. And like, I mean, I'm a natural redhead. You could get me like that in a heartbeat when somebody's like, oh, you let him? I'm like, oh, hold on. Let's talk. It bothers me. And I like to go, like, I told him, I'm like, next comic convention, I love and adore our children, but I need to go a day when they're not with me because I like to look at stuff, but I keep getting, hey, mom.
Keeper.
Like, oh, stop pointing things out. I was just looking at something. So I need a day where he can go and hunt and do whatever, and that's fine. And I can go and do whatever I want to do. And I got to tell you, it just doesn't bother me. So it bothers me more when people are like, oh, he does that. I'm like, well, yeah, it's better than other hobbies that other people have. So
right, yeah.
It makes me sad when we get comments that are like, I wish my wife was into this stuff. She gets mad at me, and like I've even seen some comments be like my wife and I separated because of the comic stuff, and I'm like,
Really?
And I have something to say on that. Like, I see it from both sides. Like, for me not being like head deep into this, you know what I mean? Like, ComicHaulics, I have also gotten those comments. Like, when I've gone on my lunch breaks and gotten stuff for him, and I'm looking, you know, and I'm looking for him specifically, and I asked someone about something because I don't know that much, and I'm like, hey, can you help me out here?
Yeah.
I've had, you know, mostly, I mean, they're all men, basically say like, oh, I wish my wife would do that. She's mad at me, blah, blah, blah. She makes me hide it here. All this stuff, you know, and I felt bad for them because they're like, no, it's not gambling. It's not, you know, drinking. And I'm like, you're right. Like, you know, but on the other hand, I think that you have to be responsible with anything you do in your life.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's where it becomes an issue in a lot of people's lives personally, and a lot of people's lives in their relationships when they start spending more money than they should be spending because they don't have money to spend on other things that they need it for. You know what I mean? Or they're spending it. I mean, there's no more room. I mean, how many people in this community are like talking about, okay, now it's time to purge and downsize because I have nowhere to put anything anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
I think
It's a cyclical thing. Yeah.
Like anything in life, you can't overeat, you can't over exercise, you can't drink too much water or alcohol, and the same goes for comics. You know,
Right.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
Both. Do both.
Cancel each other out.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
I completely agree.
Yep.
Yeah,
but
there's a level of like responsibility that you need to have for like, obviously, if one of us is spending way too much on comics or baseball cards or stuff like that, we put each other in check. But
Yeah.
I guess
like
it goes
me
with
when I
that.
buy the arcades and you yell at me.
I guess my point was you don't know how far you don't know what these men that were saying this to you, and that's what I have to think about too. Like, I can't say, hey, this poor guy was only like harmlessly collecting like Kachoong does, so it was unfair, because he could have taken it to the extreme. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was that, because anything in the extreme is the extreme.
Yeah. Like when it starts becoming like when it affects your finances, that's when it's like.
When it's destructive, like,
That's when you gotta hit the brakes.
But it's nice that you guys are both you guys are like, as a couple, you guys will keep each other, and that's like kind of what we do. Like, if he likes something and I know he wants something, I'm like, I get it, and it's okay. But the fact that you guys as couples are collecting with, you know, together, and that's really, I mean, again, I'm gonna try again, guys. I already have a book in mind.
Don't tell him.
Don't say it.
Don't say it.
I'm afraid of what's going to happen, so I really.
Or say it so I don't go get it.
I don't know, because the thing is,
Could be on my list.
He could already have it, and I don't even know.
Also true.
That's the thing. So it's like,
We'll save that for backstage.
I'm gonna let you guys know. I'm gonna let you guys know, but. If this happens again, I swear I'm gonna hack his account and I'm gonna get on Geek's account and I'm gonna let you guys know what happened. I have a book in mind.
Make her own videos.
I'm gonna make my own videos, and I'm somehow gonna find Biggie and everybody else out here that I've seen through the videos, and I'm gonna get everybody's help to do this without Jim.
This is not how I expected the end of this program to be.
Okay.
And with that note, we're going to sign off.
Thanks, guys. It's been fun.
It was
Yeah.
everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you, all of you, for taking the time out on your Saturdays and coming onto the show and hanging out and talking comics. And I know that it's not always the most important thing, but it sure as shit is fun.
It's therapy.
It is. It absolutely is. It's very cathartic. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to say thank you, everybody in the chat, for joining us. Please come see us again on Thursday, when we have the All-Stars from The Hunt on Tony Sanders' channel. We'll have Tony Sanders, Two Brothers Comics, and Whodat Comics and Videos. And following that, on Tuesday of the following week, we'll have 3 Men in the Basement. So come check us out on Tuesdays and on Thursday, and then on Tuesday the following week. And Also, stay tuned to the channel. There's a couple of new segments coming out. One is called $200 Grail, where I take $200 and I try to get a Fantastic Four number 5. Sorry, Soldier. Also working on it too. There should be enough out there for both of us. So
I saw an FF number 6 for about that.
yeah. Well, it's not. Yeah. Well, you'll get the gist of it when you see it. And then we have a whole new investment segment called Slab City. So I'm just gonna tease that one, and then that one will come out when it comes out. But thanks everybody for coming down and seeing us, and we'll talk to you soon.